The shotgun blast shattered the morning quiet like God's own thunder. Pellets ripping into the barn door inches from my head as I bolted for the truck. "You filthy sinner. Get out and never come back." Dad's voice cracked like dry earth under boot heels, raw with the kind of hate that simmers for years before it boils over. I slammed the door, tires kicking up gravel as I fled Willow Creek, Arizona, leaving behind the only home I'd known, and the boy who'd just sold my soul to save his own. That was 6 months ago, and I've been scraping by in Phoenix, crashing on couches and dodging memories like they were live wires. But Willow Creek, that godforsaken speck on the map where the Colorado River's tributaries had finally given up the ghost, it was dying of thirst now. The whole town parched and praying for rain that wasn't coming. And me? I held the map to the one spring nobody else remembered. The question was, would I go back, or let them all choke on the dust of their own damn bigotry? I remember the day it all unraveled like it was etched in the red rock of my skull. Willow Creek wasn't much, a cluster of sun-bleached trailers and adobe ranch houses huddled against the Superstition Mountains, where folks scratched out a living herding cattle and pretending the world hadn't changed since Reagan was president. We were the kind of town where Sunday sermons doubled as town hall meetings, and Pastor Hale's fire and brimstone warnings about the devil's rainbow agenda kept everyone in line. Or so they thought. My name's Brandon Hayes, 23 years old, and I'd spent my whole life hiding who I was. Not because I wanted to help, no. But in a place like Willow, being gay wasn't just a sin, it was a sentence. You didn't come out, you got buried under it. I'd learned that early, watching Uncle Ray pack up after his phase in the 90s, vanishing to who knows where and only sending Christmas cards that Mom burned without opening. So I played the part, quarterback on the high school team, helper at Dad's irrigation outfit, the all-American boy with a smile that hid teeth gritted against the truth. Shane Whitaker crashed in my life like a monsoon flash flood our junior year. He was the new kid from Tucson, transferred in after his folks split, with eyes like polished turquoise and a laugh that cut through the desert silence. We met in shop class, elbow deep in welding sparks, and something sparked between us too, something electric, forbidden. Late nights in the back of his beat-up Ford Ranger, parked under the stars by Saguaro Lake. We'd talk about escaping to California, building a life where we didn't have to whisper. His hand in mine felt like the only water in a world gone dry. "I love you, Bran," he'd murmur against my neck, his breath warm as summer wind. "We'll get out." Promise. I believed him. God, did I? We were careful, always. No one knew. Until they did. It started with whispers. Folks noticing how we volunteered together for the county fair. How I'd linger too long fixing his truck at the garage. Then came the note in my locker. Faggot. Repent or burn. Unsigned, but it hit like a gut punch. I showed Shane that night, out by the old mine shafts where we'd carve our initials into the saguaro ribs. "We got to tell someone," I said, voice shaking. "My dad, maybe. Or Pastor Hale." Ripped the Band-Aid. Shane went still, his fingers tightening on the steering wheel. "You sure? This town's poison. Bran. One wrong word. We face it together." I leaned in, kissing him fierce, tasting salt and fear. "Or we run now." He nodded, but his eyes darted like a coyote spotting headlights. The next day, he was gone from school, sick. They said. I waited for him after practice, sweat-soaked and heartsick, but he didn't show. Instead, Dad's truck rumbled up, Pastor Hale in the passenger seat, both faces carved from granite. "Get in the truck." "Boy," Dad growled, not meeting my eyes. The drive home was silent as a grave. The only sound the rattle of empty irrigation pipes in the bed. They sat me down in the kitchen, Mom hovering in the doorway like a ghost, her rosary beads clicking. Pastor Hale quoted Leviticus like it was a death warrant, his voice booming off the knotty pine walls. The wages of sin is death, Brandon. But there's mercy if you repent. Repent. The word tasted like ash. I glanced at Dad, waiting for the man who'd taught me to fix engines and ride Broncos to say something, anything. But he just stared at the floor, fists clenched. It ain't a choice. Son, he muttered finally. It's the devil in you. We fixed this. Family sticks together. They dragged me to conversion prayer circles after that. Nights in the church basement with strangers laying hands on me, praying out the demons. Shane texted once, "Sorry. Can't do this." Then radio silence. I figured he was scared. Hunker down. But deep down, a crack formed in my trust, widening with every unanswered call. The shotgun came 2 weeks later. I'd snuck out to meet him one last time, desperate for answers. We argued by the creek bed, dry as bone now. Even then, "Why'd you ghost me?" I demanded, voice breaking. "We said together." His face crumpled. "My dad found out. From me. I had to tell him to keep him from beating the truth out of you. He swore me to secrecy. Bran. Said it'd ruin us both. Liar." The words slipped out. Venomous. But before he could respond, headlights swept the arroyo. Dad, shotgun in hand. Pastor Hale hollering scriptures. Shane bolted first, vanishing into the scrub. And me? I ran for my life. The blast was a warning, Dad's way of saying enough. "You're dead to us," he roared as I peeled out. "Don't you dare come back. Phoenix swallow me whole." I couch surfed with a distant cousin. Worked odd jobs, barista by day, Uber Eats by night, numbing the ache with bad coffee and worse TV. Letters from Mom came, pleading repentance, but I burned them. Shane tried calling once. Voicemail slurred with what sounded like whiskey. "Bran, please." I didn't mean. I deleted it. Betrayal burned hotter than any desert sun. Months blurred. Then, one August evening, my phone buzzed with a number I didn't know. A news alert. Willow Creek declares emergency. Aquifer dry. Rationing begins. The Colorado had trickled to nothing. Years of overuse and climate spite finally cracking the basin. Satellite images showed the town a dust bowl. Cattle dying in the fields. Families lining up for tanker trucks that never came full. Another buzz, a text from an unknown. "Brandon, it's Lila." From the diner. "Town's dying. Your dad. He mentioned the old spring. The one your grandpa mapped. We need you. Please." The old spring. Grandpa Hayes' secret. The artesian well he'd found in the 60s up in the foothills. Off the grid and untouched. He'd drilled it for emergencies. Mapped it in a leather-bound journal hidden in the attic. Dad thought of folklore, but I'd read it cover to cover as a kid, dreaming of hidden waters. It was real, pure, cold flow from some forgotten aquifer vein. Enough to save the town, if they could reach it. My thumb hovered over reply. Save them? The ones who'd loaded the shotgun? Who'd let Pastor Hale call me abomination to my face? Rage boiled up, thick as monsoon mud. Let's inviter, I thought. Plant their damn flags of hate in the sand and watch 'em blow away. But then Shane's face flickered in my mind. Not the coward who'd ratted, but the boy who'd kiss me under stars, whispering futures. And Mom's letters, frail handwriting begging forgiveness she didn't know. Human decency, that nagging voice said. Or was it weakness? I typed back on my way. But this changes nothing. The drive north was 5 hours of hell. Highway mirages mocking me with phantom lakes. Radio droning drought stats like a dirge. Willow Creek appeared at dusk. A skeleton of itself, boarded shops, cracked reservoirs, kids with hollow cheeks kicking dust in the streets. Lila met me at the edge, her waitress uniform hanging loose, eyes red-rimmed. Brandon, she hugged me fierce, like I was kin. You came. God bless you. Don't, I muttered, pulling back. Where's the journal? She led me to the community center, a repurposed gym, now a war room of maps and empty water jugs. Faces turned, farmers with calloused hands, teachers with defeat in their postures. No dad, no pastor, and no Shane. We lost 3 head yesterday, Lila said, voice low. The creek's a ditch. Your pa. He's holed up at home. Won't talk to nobody. I nodded, flipping through Grandpa's journal under flickering fluorescence. The spring was 10 miles out, in a box canyon the government had eyed for mining but never touched. Coordinates precise. Depth shallow, drillable with the right rig. We need equipment, I said to the room. Hydraulic drill. Pipes. And permission from the BLM. Murmurs rippled. Then a voice from the back. We'll get it. Whatever it takes. I looked up. Shane. Leaner. Sun-darkened. Flannel shirt, rolled to elbows showing veins like riverbeds. His eyes locked on mine, turquoise storm clouds. Pleading. Bran. The room tensed. Air thick as before a hubbub. Whispers. That's the Whitaker boy. The one who. I clenched the journal. Knuckles white. You got no right to be here. He stepped forward, ignoring the stares. I do. My family's got the rig from the old mine. Been fixing it up. Let me help. Laughter barked from me. Bitter. Help? Like you helped before. Silence crashed down. Lila cleared her throat. Meeting's over. Folks. Tomorrow dawn. Outside. Under sodium lamps buzzing like angry hornets. Shane cornered me. Bran. Listen. No. I shoved past. Heart hammering. But he grabbed my arm. Gentle as memory. I didn't out you. Swear on my life. Dad guessed. Beat it out of me till I confessed to protect you. Then he went to your pa anyway. Lies. But doubt wormed in. Cold as spring water. He released me. Voice cracking. Stay. For the town. For. Us. I walked away. Journal underarm. The weight of secrets heavier than any drill. That night, in Lila's spare room, sleep dodged me. The spring could save them. But could it save me from drowning in the past? Dawn broke bloody over the mountains. Rigs rumbling to life like mechanical beasts. We convoyed out, me in the lead truck with Lila, Shane trailing in his family's battered excavator. The canyon road was a goat path. Washouts from last winter's ghost rains threatening to swallow tires. Dust devils danced in our wake, veiling the sky. At the site, a sheer red wall pocked with fossil ferns, we parked. The air hummed with diesel and desperation. I paced the base. Journal open, tracing Grandpa's faded ink. Here, 30 feet down, east face. Flow rate should be steady, 2 gallons a minute. Minimum. Workers fanned out, old mister. Ramirez rigging hoses. The sheriff's deputies hauling pipe. Shane unloaded the drill, sweat beading his brow, avoiding my gaze. Good. Let him stew. Hours blurred and grind, bit chewing stone, sparks flying, the earth groaning like it resented the intrusion. By noon, we'd hit pay dirt, a gurgle, then a spurt of crystal clear against the borehole. Cheers erupted, ragged and real. Water, sweet, cold salvation bubbling up like a miracle. We capped it provisional, ran lines to a holding tank. First sips went to the kids bust out, tiny hands clutching cups, eyes wide with wonder. I watched from the ridge, throat tight. This was right. Damn it cost. But as the sun dipped, casting long shadows, Dad's truck crested the rise. He climbed out slow, Stetson low, face a map of cracks deeper than the canyon. Pastor Hale beside him, Bible tucked under arm like a weapon. Brandon, Dad's voice carried, gravel over glass. The crew froze. I straightened. Pa! He scanned the rig, the pooling water, then me, like I was a stranger. Heard you found it. Grandpa's folly. It's real. And it's saving your asses. Pastor Hale stepped up, eyes narrow. Boy, this don't erase what you are. God's testing us all. Repent, and maybe he spares the town. Rage flared, hot as blowtorch. Spare? You loaded the buckshot. Pa! You and your holy hitman here. Now you drink from my well. Dad flinched, but held. Family's family. Water's water. Shane materialized at my elbow. Voice low. Bran, don't. Not now. Stay out of it. I rounded on Dad. You won the water? Fine. But you own what you did. All of it. The standoff stretched. Wind whistling through the slot. Then Dad nodded. Once. We'll talk. Later. They left. Tails tucked. The crew exhaled, resuming work. Shane lingered. You okay? No. I met his eyes, searching for the boy I'd loved. But I will be. Help or not. He smiled. Faint. Always. That night. Back in town. The Wells' first truckload rolled in, horns blaring. Folks lining Main Street with buckets and tears. Lila threw a barbecue. Modest, beans and cornbread. Watered-down beer. I sat on the periphery, nursing a soda, watching the miracle unfold. Shane found me by the fire pit, embers glowing like accusations. Can we talk? For real. I sighed, the fight leaching out. 5 minutes. We walked to the old bridge over what's left of Willow Wash, dry timbers creaking underfoot. Moonlight silvered the sand below, a riverbed graveyard. I lied that night, he started, leaning on the rail. Not about protecting you. About everything else. After your pa ran me off, I broke. Told Pastor Hale it was my fault, tried to take the blame. But he twisted it, said we were both vessels for sin. I ran to Tucson for a week, saw a counselor, learned what gaslighting really is. I crossed arms, heart a war drum. Why not tell me? Fear. Thought you'd hate me more. He turned, eyes glistening. Bran, I never stopped. Even when you ghosted. You think this fixes it? Voice cracked. The town? My family? Me? No. He stepped closer, not touching. But starting over? Yeah. If you'll let me. The air thickened, charged with unsaid years. I wanted to shove him away, scream the pain. Instead, I whispered, prove it. His hand found mine, tentative, warm. We stood there, bridges burning behind, the first drops of rain pattering tentative on the dust. A sign? Or just weather? But Willow Creek wasn't done twisting the knife. Not by a long shot. Rain. In Willow Creek. It was rarer than mercy, but that night it came, soft at first, then sheets that turned the streets to rivers of mud. We laughed like kids, Shane and I dashing back to the barbecue, soaked and stupid happy. Folks danced in it, old grudges washing away with the grime. For a heartbeat, I let myself believe in redemption, water for the town, touch for my soul. Morning brought hangovers and headaches. The well pumped steady, tankers ferrying life to parched fields. Dad showed up at Lila's with a thermos of coffee, black as his mood, and grunted, good work, son. No apology, but it was a crack in the dam. I took it, sipping slow, the bitterness familiar. Shane threw himself into the rebuild, reinforcing the pipe run. scouting backup sources, weed steal moments, brushing hands over blueprints, shared glances across the rig that said wait. It was fragile. This thaw, built on borrowed time. But damn if it didn't feel like home. Then the feds rolled in. Bureau of Land Management suits in press khakis, clipboards like shields, announcing the canyon was Federal Reserve, no private extraction without permits. Our jury-rigged setup? Illegal. Shut it down, or face fines that'd bankrupt the town twice over. Panic hit like heat stroke. Emergency meeting at the church. Ironic. That, Pastor Hale thundering about divine retribution. Dad pacing like a caged longhorn. We need that water. Crops are sprouting. First time in years. The lead suit. Agent Ramirez. No relation to Mr. R. Thank God. Laid it out cold. Environmental impact assessment. Takes months. You tap without it. We seize equipment. Murmurs swelled to shouts. I stood, journal in hand. This spring's off-grid. Grandpa's notes prove it. Predates your boundaries. It's ours. Ramirez smirked. Notes don't trump law. Kid. File proper. Or dry up. Shane leaned in after. Voice urgent. We fight it. Rally the county commissioners. I nodded, but doubt gnawed. Fighting meant digging up dirt on the town. On me. And secrets have a way of flooding out. That afternoon, we drove to the county seat in Florence. 40 miles of baked flats. Radio static debating water wars. Shane drove, one hand on the wheel, the other drumming my knee absent-like. Remember that road trip we planned? Route 66 to the coast. Yeah, I smiled faint. You swore you'd learn to surf. Still will. With you. His eyes flicked over. Warm. If you want. I squeezed his hand. One crisis at a time. The commissioner's office was a DMV from hell. Flickering bulbs. Lines of sunburned farmers. We waited hours. Then pled our case to a panel of three. 2 ranchers. 1 banker. All eyeing me like I was the drought's fault. I laid out the journal. Maps. Flow rates. Shane backed me with rig specs. Voice steady as rebar. They huddled. Whispered. Then, motion denied. Federal override. Appeal to Phoenix if you like. Defeat tasted like dust. Driving back. Thunderheads building west. Shane slammed the dash. Bullshit. They're in bed with the enviro lobbies. Or scared of lawsuits. I rubbed temples. What now? He glanced over. Jaw set. We go rogue. Keep the well quiet. Ration tighter. By time. Risky. Reckless. But with fields greening and kids' cheeks filling out. What choice? Okay. But if we get caught. Together. He pulled over at a scenic turnout. Mountains purple in the haze. Leaned across the console. Lips brushing mine soft. Searching. First real kiss since the shotgun. It undid me. Salt of tears. Promise of more. We broke apart breathless. Foreheads touching. Missed you, he whispered. Me too, but as we drove on, rain lashing the windshield, I couldn't shake the shadow. What if his confession to protect me had layers I didn't know? Town buzzed with the denial. Lila organized a potluck protest. Signs reading water is life. Not bureaucracy, but morale cracked. Dad cornered me at the diner. Voice low over pie he didn't eat. This you're doing? Boy. Stirring pots. Pa. It's survival. I pushed my plate away. Like you taught. He grunted. Eyes flicking to Pastor Hale at the counter. Eavesdropping. Survival don't mean sin. Hale's saying the drought's judgment on all of us. Including you. Ice in my veins. Including me? Or just me? Dad shifted. Uncomfortable. He wants a cleansing. Public prayer. Your involvement in the well? It's tainting the miracle. Rage boiled. Tainting? I'm the one who found it. Lower your voice. He glanced around. Folks are talking. About you and Whitaker. Old rumors. Ah, there it was, the serpent in the garden. Let him talk. Water flows regardless. But it didn't. 2 days later. Sabotage. Pipes slashed under cover of night. The holding tank drained to mud. BLM's doing? Or homegrown hate? Sheriff dusted for prints. None. Whispers pointed fingers. At me. The outsider who'd brought the feds. Shane and I patrolled the lines that night. Flashlights, cutting shadows. Shotguns in truck racks, just in case. Tension hummed between us. Unspoken accusations. You think it's Hale? He asked. Scanning scrub. Or someone scared. I paused. Like back then. You told your dad to protect me. Did you tell Hale too? He stopped dead. Beams swinging to my face. What? No. Bran. Save it. The words tumbled. Old wounds festering. Folks knew details only you could have spilled. The creek bed meetups. Our plans. Hurt flashed in his eyes. You think I'd sell you out? After everything? I don't know. Voice echoed off rocks. You vanished. Left me to the wolves. He stepped close. Too close. Breath ragged. I was a kid. Terrified. Dad locked me in my room for days. When I got out, you'd gone. I searched Phoenix. Everywhere. Found your cousin's address. Drove there once. You slammed the door. Liar? Or truth? Memory blurred. Why not fight harder? Because I broke. Tears tracked, dust on his cheeks. Thought I lost you forever. It's my second chance. Lightning cracked overhead, illuminating his face, raw, real. I wanted to believe. God, I did. Pulled him in, kiss fierce against the storm, rain mingling with salt, bodies pressing like anchors. We broke apart gasping, the world narrowing to this. Him, me, thunder's roar. But secrets don't dissolve in downpours. Next dawn, Lila banged on my door, face ashen. Brandon. It's bad. The church lot, a bonfire of sorts, but not joyful. Stack high tires, scrap, and at the base, slashed remnants of our pipes, doused in kerosene. Pastor Hale on the steps, megaphone in hand, a sign, the devil's work among us. We burn it out. Crowd murmured, some nodding, others uneasy. Dad in the front row, arms crossed. Shane pushed through beside me. This is insane. Hale's eyes locked on us. Insane? Or salvation? The boy returns, unrepentant, and woes follow. The spring? Cursed. Shut it down, or face God's wrath. Shouts erupted, pro and con. A bottle sailed, shattering at our feet. Chaos, shoving, screams. Sheriff waded in, baton raised. I grabbed Shane's arm. Run. We bolted for the truck. Hale's voice chasing, Sodom spawn. Judgment comes. Tires spun mud as we fled to the well site. Heart pounding. I radioed the crew. Secure the cap. They're coming. Shane gripped the dash. This is on Hale. He want control. Tides up with the crisis. Or you. The accusation slipped. Poison. He recoiled. Still, after last night, regret choked me. But before I could fix it, headlights crested, a convoy. Not BLM. Locals. Pitchfork modern, trucks, chains, faces twisted in fervor. They swarmed the rig, ropes on the drill, wrenches on bolts. Dad truck led, him climbing out, shotgun loose in hand. Stand down, son. This ends. Pa. No. I jumped out. Shane at my back. This water's life. It's poison. He leveled the barrel. Not at me. At the borehole. Hale's right. You're dragging us to hell. Betrayal hit like buckshot. Not his words. But the echo, the man who'd raised me, now torchbearer for hate. Crew scattered. Shane yelled, lunging for the gun. Chaos, a shot, warning, into dirt. Shouts, scuffle. Then Lila's voice, shrill over the din. Stop. Telephones, it's the governor. Panting, we froze. Her truck skidded up. Phone aloft. Emergency declaration. States overriding BLM. Wells legal. Funds incoming. Silence. Broken by rain resuming. Torrents now. Dad lowered the gun. Face crumpling. The mob deflated. Murmuring retreat. Hale's crew peeled out last. His glare promising hellfire. That met my eyes. Something breaking. I didn't know. About the governor? Bitter laugh. Or me. He turned away. Truck rumbling off. Shane clapped my shoulder. You did it, Bran. We did. But victory tasted hollow, laced with rift. That night, alone by the spring, water now a steady song, doubt flooded. Shane's story held holes, Dad's regret, suspect. And Hale, he wasn't done. High water marks the start of real floods. The governor's decree was a lifeline. State crews arrived next day, proper permits in hand, upgrading the well to a full station. Tankers multiplied. Fields drank deep. Willow Creek exhaled. Picnics returned to the park. Kids splashing in puddles that lingered. Lila dubbed me Water Boy, half joke, half him. I wave it off, but inside, a flicker of pride, dimmed by the gathering storm. Shane and I fell into rhythm, him on mechanics, me on logistics. Stolen kisses in the supply, shed tasting like progress. We're building something, he'd say, grease-streaked and grinning. Real. I wanted to trust it, him, the town, the thaw. But cracks spiderwebbed. Anonymous notes in my truck, unnatural. Leave. Dad avoided me, holding up with his ledgers. Mom slipping food parcels to the door with eyes downcast. And Pastor Hale? He went quiet, too quiet. Sermons shifting to false idols and tests of faith. One evening, post-shift, Shane suggested a drive. Clear our heads. Like old times, we took his Ranger up the Apache Trail, winding scar through canyons. Wild with creosote bloom from the rains. Windows down, wind whipping. We talked dreams again, a place in Sedona, art co-op for my sketches, him fixing solar rigs. His hand on my thigh felt like anchor, steady. Pulling over at a viewpoint, valley sprawling gold below, he turned serious. Bran, about before. I should have fought harder. Told you everything. Water under the bridge. I teased, but he shook his head. No. Truth time. He pulled a crumpled envelope from the glove box, yellowed, addressed to me. This came to my place, months after you left. From your pa. I held it, thought it'd hurt more. I took it, hands unsteady. Dad scrawl, son, if you're reading this, forgive an old fool. The well. It's yours. Always was. Come home when you're ready. Love, Pa. Love. The word punched. Why now? Timing. Shane shrugged. After the sabotage, I figured. Bridge building. I folded it away. Throat tight. Thanks. Kiss then deep. Unhurried. The world fading to us. But as we drove back, twilight bleeding purple, my phone buzzed. Lila. Meeting at church. Urgent. Hale's calling a vote. The sanctuary hummed with unease, pews packed, air thick with coffee and suspicion. Hale at the pulpit, no megaphone this time, voice silk over steel. Brothers and sisters, the rains mock us. State water? A Trojan horse. It flows from tainted hands, eyes on me, deliberate. We vote, Dedicate the well to God. Remove the influences. Murmurs swelled. Influences. Code for me. Shane gripped my knee under the pew. Dad sat front, face unreadable. Debate erupted, farmers praising the yield, elders nodding Hale's warnings. Lila stood. This boy's saved us. Without him, boy, Hale sneered. A prodigal, unrepentant. And his companion, finger-jabbing Shane. Whispers say they cavort like sodomites. Is this the example for our youth? Gasps rippled. Eyes swiveled, curious, condemning. My stomach nodded. Shane paled. Lies, but Hale pressed. Confess. Whitaker. Or shall I? The room tilted. Shane bolted up. You son of a... Sheriff intervened. But damage done. Whispers. Knew it. That's why the drought. Dad stood slow, voice rumbling. Enough. Hale. Water's water. Let be. Hale smiled. Serpentine. As you say, Amos. But the vote. Hands rose, split. Tense. Tally. Narrow no. Well stays. But exodus followed. Families filing out. Shooting glances like arrows. Outside, Shane rounded on me. He knew. About us, from the start. Out. Cold dread. Doesn't matter. We confront him. No. I grab his arm. Not yet. It'll fracture everything. His eyes search mine, hurt. Huh. Hiding again? That's what broke us before. It's protecting. But doubt echoed his words. That night, alone, I pored over the journal. Not maps, but Grandpa's margins, scribbles on faith. Doubt. A queer uncle who'd wandered young. Water hides depths. One read. So do hearts. Next day's blurred. Upgrades humming. But tension coiling. Shane distant. Throwing into work. Dad finally cornered me at the ranch. First time since the shotgun. Barn smelled of hay and regret. Son, he offered a beer warm from a cooler. Hale's poison. Always was. After your ma's miscarriage. Twisted him. I sipped. Wary. And you? Followed like a sheep. Shame crossed his face. Fear. Town's all I got. You. I thought I could fix you. Like a busted pump. Not broken. Pa. Voice steady. Just different. He nodded. Slow. The letter. Meant it. Wells deeds in your name now. Grandpa's will. Hid it from me. Gift or guilt? Why tell me? 'Cause you're right. Survival means owning shit. He clapped my shoulder, awkward, but real. Proud. Bran. Water and all. Tears pricked. Progress. But Hale's shadow loomed. It broke Friday. Shane missing from the site. Phone dead. Worry gnawed. I drove to his trailer. Finding it dark. Lila saw him head to the church. Argument. Heart sank. I raced there. Tires screaming. Sanctuary lit dim. Voices murmuring within. Pushed in. Shane on his knees. Hale looming. Bible open like a guillotine. Confess. Boy, admit your perversion. Lead this flock from temptation. Shane's voice. Raw. Never. It ain't sin. It's love. Hale whirled as I entered. Eavesdropper. Join him. Leave him alone. I stepped forward. Fists clenched. Your witch hunt ends. Hale laughed. Cold. Ends? It begins. I know your secrets. Haze. The spring? Built on lies. Your grandpa. Don't. Shane surged up, shoving Hale back. You blackmailed me. After my dad died, threatened to tell everyone about us unless I spied. World tilted. Spied? Shame, I Shane, Hale's pawn. Hale smirked. Truth hurts. He fed me crumbs, your meats, your plans. To save you. Shane's eyes met mine. desperate. Bran. No, I stalled him. Lied half the time. After the shotgun, I confessed everything to stop him chasing you. Lies upon lies. Betrayal crashed. Title. You used me? For this hypocrite? No. Shane reached. I jerked back. I protected. By selling me out. Voice shattered. Again. Hale crowed. See? God's justice. I lunged, not at him, but Shane's collar. Was any real? Or just your guilt trip? Tears streamed his face. All real. Every kiss. Every promise. I swear. Swears mean shit. I shove him away. Storming out into night. Rain again, ironic lash. Hours I drove. Aimless. Ending at the spring. Water gurgled mocking. Pure while I drowned in filth. Phone buzz, Mom. Come home. Please. Amos is breaking. Home. The word mocked. Dawn found me there, kitchen light on. Dad at table. Head in hands. Mom hovered, offering coffee. Son. Dad looked up. Wrecked. Hale came. Spouting rot. Said Shane's a Judas. Worse. He is. Dad shook head. No. Boys flawed, like us. Fought for you. Told me months back. Begged I call you home. Another layer. Why didn't you? Pride. He stood. Old bones creaking. Same as now. But water teaches. Flow or stagnate. I sank into a chair. The journal on the table. Open to Grandpa's words. Forgive the depths you can't see. Midday brought crisis, while sputtering, pressure dropping. Crew frantic, silk clog, sabotage. Shane arrived, toolkit in hand, face bruised from. What? Ignore him, I thought. But town needed us. We worked side by side, silent, him clearing lines, me charting flows. Tension crackled, unspoken plea in his glances. Finally, as pressure stabilized, he spoke. Hale cornered me last night. Offer deal, expose you. Get cleansed. I told him to fuck off. He swung, missed. Truth or spin? Why believe you now? 'Cause I love you. Simple. Shattering. Always did. Mistakes and all. The crew hooped, while roaring full again. Folks gathered. Cheers for the fix. Lila hugged us both. Heroes. But heroes bleed. That night, Hale's reckoning came, not mine, but fate's. Deputy knocked. Pastor's dead. Heart attack. In his office, notes everywhere. Confessions. Blackmails. Town reeled. Mourners? Few. Relief? Palpable. At the vigil, candlelit. Subdued, Shane and I stood apart. Walls high. Forgive, he whispered. Not yet, but the word hung. Maybe. Flood's crest slow. Mine was building, to break or baptize. Hale's death rippled like a stone in still water, stirring silt, but clarifying depths. His notes, burned in a bonfire the town pretended was a memorial, ledgers of tide shakedowns. Lists of sinners he'd hounded to silence or flight. Shane's name topped one, marked redeemed, crossed out. Mine? Absent, but implied. Folks wept not for him, but for the poison leached. Funeral was sparse. Family from Ohio. A handful of diehards. Dad spoke, brief, gruff. Man sought salvation. May he find it. Eyes met mine across the grave. Apology unspoken. After, life flowed. Well upgraded to solar pumps. State grants greening the valley. Willow softened. Rainbow stickers on diner windows. Quiet nods when Shane and I walked Maine together. Not acceptance. Not yet. But space. Us. Tentative bridge. Dinners at Lila's. Her meatloaf. Our laughter thawing. Nights at the spring. Sitting banks that weren't banks. Water now a creek. Singing secrets. I'd sketch him. Profile sharp against stars. Journal open on knee. Tell me a truth, I'd say. Pencil pausing. He'd think. Then, first time I kissed you? Plan it for weeks. Chicken out twice. Mine dreamed of this, us. Here, since the shotgun. Woke crying. Layer by layer. We rebuilt. But climax brewed in whispers. A developer from Phoenix. Eyeing a canyon for condos. Eco-resort, they called it. Taps on the spring. Luxury amid drought. Town council tempted. Jobs. Cash. Vote pending. Dad rallied opposition. This water's ours, fought for. Bled for. Me at his side. Maps unrolled. Shane on calls. Lining witnesses. But betrayal's ghost lingered. One night, post-meeting, Shane confessed full. Hale had photos from my dad's old phone. Us at the creek. Threatened to mail him unless I fed him scraps. I did harmless stuff. Till I didn't. Turn it on him. Recorded threats. That's why he snapped. Proof. A USB. Hale's voice tinny. Confess. Or your lover burns. I listened. Rage yielding to relief. Why wait? Timing. Wanted clean for us. Forgiveness flooded then, not sudden, but inevitable as rain. I pulled him close. Kiss ceiling, idiot. My idiot. Town vote loaned. Developers pitch slick. Promising fountains for the few. Us, comunidad. Sustainable. Tension peaked at hall. Standing room. Air electric. Developer first. Charts of wealth. Progress. Applause polite. Our turn. Dad, legacy. Lila, lives saved. Me, this spring's more than water. It's trust, hard won. Don't sell our soul for spas. Shane last. I know betrayal. Gave it. Got it. But fighting together? That's strength. Eyes on me. Fierce. That's love. Silence. Then roar. Eyes thundering. No to the suits. Cheers engulfed us. Hand clapping backs. Outside, under harvest moon, Dad hugged me, fierce. Fumbling. Proud. Son. Always. Mom cried, whispering, welcome home. Home. It fit now, cracked but whole. Shane and I drove out after, canyon arms embracing, spring a silver thread below. Pulled over, stars wheeling overhead. Future, he asked. Hand in mine. California, I teased. Or here. Here. Build on it. Kiss then deep. Anchoring. No rush. No ghosts. Just us. Water song underscoring vows unspoken. Months on. Willow thrives. Co-op farm. Solar school. Pride flag subtle at the fair. Dad and I fix fences literal. Figurative. Shane teaches welding. Kids wide-eyed at his scars turn stories. Me, I write. Grandpa's journal expanded. Tales of hidden flows. Not all happy. Scars ache and dry spells. But humanistic truth loves the aquifer deep, sustaining, forgiving the drought. We survived. Not unscathed, but alive. And in America's baked heart. That's miracle enough. The end? Nah. Just the next bend in the river.